Malik Kelly, Roman Reigns' WWE Championship. Who is the best contender here out of these three competitors?
Oh man,
Hypothetically, he ain't losing, but let's play the game.
yeah. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Randy. Out of all the
Randy?
options, LA Knight. I don't know if he would get the world title pushes early. AJ Styles, yeah, I mean, you could give it to him too, but I kind of feel like they're gonna go different with his story direction. Randy is really hot since coming back, and I feel like out of the options, people would want that more than anybody. If you had to line them all up, I think he would be the one that most of the fans would pick. So, plus, I think he has more deep history with the bloodline stuff, since
Mm-hmm.
from a storyline perspective, they were the ones that put him out for 18 months. So, I would probably say if it had to be anybody, I'd say Randy.
All right, so it's a hypothetical question. I think the odds makers would say Roman Reigns is probably the favorite to win this match. I don't think any of us would
Yeah,
disagree
yeah,
with that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But hypothetically, he loses this match. Is that a cheap way to end this historical reign? Even if he was to take the pinfall, but in a fatal four-way match like this, is that just wrong? What do you think?
Yeah. Roman Reigns don't need to be losing in a fatal four. The only person I believe should beat Roman is Cody. I don't think anybody else should be the one to beat him. So having him lose in a fatal four match, if he doesn't get pinned, especially with the run that he's having, it's not the right way to end the title reign. So it definitely would be a cheap way out.
For sure. And I don't think it's going to happen, but hypothetically, with the Rock sniffing around and they want to kind of make everything
Yeah,
finesse, I
yeah.
could see that small window, but we're enough playing that game. Let's kind of jump into these three challengers and finish with the big dog. LA Knight. You not feeling him? Is that the vibe I'm kind of getting? What's up with LA Knight?
I'm not crazy about him. I mean, he's cool. He's obviously over with the fans and stuff, but I think he's probably going to be the one to beat Logan Paul for the U.S. title
Okay.
at WrestleMania. I think that would better suit him right now, just for the fact he's never won a championship in the WWE, and I think they've been kind of like slowly trying to build him up, I guess, the way they have envisioned him and wanted him to be.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with it. It feels like I don't want to say he was a flash in the pan. I think he's hot enough to withstand this pseudo, main event push that he's getting.
Yeah,
But overall, I feel like his heights have been his heights. He may one day get back there, but he ain't the guy. I think that mid card title, like you said, is the perfect landing spot for LA Knight in 2024. Let's talk AJ Styles. Let's get a little more edge to him. Ditch the flashy clothes. Kind of got that British Bulldog 1999 look going on there with the denim jeans and the slick back hair, and he's ready to rock and roll, all jacked and tan. But what's your overall feelings on AJ Styles in 2024 upon his return?
do you watch TNA?
I'm familiar with it. Yes.
Okay, so this is kind of like a flashback to before AJ had left TNA.
Yeah.
He was doing this type of gimmick where he was losing a lot of big matches, and his friends had turned on him, and he didn't have any allies, and he kind of went like
Yeah.
a little road where people didn't know if he was a face or a heel. He would do heelish things. He would also do face things. He used to come out to a theme song called "Evil Ways." It's kind of kind of fit the gimmick and everything. So it kind of seems like the more of the route they're going back to, where it kind of seems like AJ is kind of like stepping back into that dark era where he has allies in the OC, which they aren't doing anything with right now. But I think that's kind of playing out to they may be turning into a heel group. At least it's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, they're still cool with him, but he's definitely giving him the cold shoulder upon returning. So
Yeah, I
I
think
see
he's
it.
waiting. I think he's waiting for them to kind of like get the memo of like what needs to happen, kind of thing. Because
Mhm.
right now he's not really vibing with Mia Yim. He's not vibing with Gallows Anderson, and it's because I think it's because they don't really understand the mindset of what he's going through and what they need to do to succeed right now. Because since they come back, they haven't done much, So I think he's
Yeah.
trying to get them to get that fire lit up in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. What do you think his upside is? If you think LA Knight is that mid card title, do you think AJ? Where do you see him come WrestleMania season?
I think LA Knight can be a main eventer. I just think they have to, give him some more steam. Like he has to, like him beating Logan Paul would be great for him because Logan
Yeah.
Paul's hated. You know what I mean? So that's an
Mhm.
easy way to get him even more over with the fans. AJ right now, I don't really see him winning any more world titles. Not that he needs to. He's already a legend, you know. So his
Yeah.
legacy's already solidified. So I think what is it, like 46? His job is to go out there and put on good matches, help get other people over at this stage. So that's just what I see from him.
Yeah, that's cool. And I think that heel roll, shades of gray he's got going on, probably get him there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against him getting another world title run with this character. That'd totally be fine. I'm just saying, I don't. He doesn't really need it. You know what I mean? And like, if it doesn't happen for him, it's not going to be the end of AJ Styles. You know,
I could see him hold it, down the line. I could see him holding that B world title, away.
Possibly, yeah, possibly.
I can see that. I can see that. All right, Randy Orton, he's hot. He feels hot. He's the biggest star outside of Roman in this match. Out of all the challengers, he's the biggest star in this match. I can see the lane where he would get the victory if they had to take the belt off Roman, so to speak. It ain't happening, but I could see that lane for Orton. Now, where do you see Orton in 2024, and especially say WrestleMania?
I'm not really sure, man.
Yeah, it's hard.
Maybe he feuds with AJ. Maybe he feuds. I kind of think he might have a match with Solo. I could see that happening because they've been kind of building up Solo even further, and I think they got big plans for him. So I would say Solo would probably be the best bet for Randy at WrestleMania, and then him put Solo over to continue his momentum. Because I think he is going to be a world champion at some point. I think they're gonna. I don't think they would be teasing all this, tribal era stuff with him and everything if they didn't have some plans for him. So I could see Solo at WrestleMania. There's no clear cut path for Randy right now as far as the real direction he's going to go in because we just don't really know as of the moment. Yeah. But I would have to. I don't know, man. I'm kind of feeling Solo.
Okay. And I think it's at first I initially thought, it's weird that they're going a multi-man match here at the Royal Rumble. Originally, you thought you would see AJ straight up versus Roman, and then you thought you would see Orton straight up with Roman when you saw Orton was coming back. And they kind of mold this four-way together. I thought they've done a good job of building anticipation for this. Roman hasn't been in a multi-man match since WrestleMania 37 with Bryan and Edge.
I like it.
So it's definitely a unique aspect within his title reign to kind of come across here for this one.
I like it. I like the aspect of the multi-man match in this stage. Like you said, he hasn't done one since 2021, so it's been damn near 3 years. And hypothetically, on paper, the odds are stacked against him, even though Roman isn't losing. He doesn't have to be pinned or submitted to lose the match, so it makes the odds more favorable. Plus, in a four-way match, anything goes. So if he were to cheat, somebody can. It's allowed to happen. You know what I mean? In this match, so and that's more than likely going to happen too. So
yeah. Hey, WWE math would say he has a 25% chance of winning this. So
yeah.
We'll see about that. All right, who's taking the L here? Who's taking the pin out of these three guys?
AJ.
Oh. Add more grit, get him more gritty, get him more pissed off. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Knight.
AJ takes it in.
I think Knight, it could be Knight.
I don't think. I think they got to continue his momentum a little bit. I don't think he can take 2 pins from Roman. I think AJ takes the pin. He won't have anything to lose, and then Knight can go into the stuff with Logan. Randy can still make a legit argument that he never got pinned by Roman, so he could still have issues with the bloodline, which allows Solo to get back into the picture. Because Solo just took the pin from from Randy on SmackDown, so it'll allow Solo to try to get back in the picture to fix the Randy problem within the bloodline.
Okay. And now, last question on these three guys. Do you see any three of these guys entering the Royal Rumble after this match if it's not the main event?
No, I think this match is the main event. I think this closes the pay-per-view. Number one, Roman always, main events the shows.
Opens or closes. Opens or closes. So
I think he main events and then The Rock comes out afterwards. Okay. And then we get that. And then you get that interaction, tension, stare down. Kind of just playing it out, see how the people react to it. Like, we finally get that face off that people have been waiting for, and it's like, oh, it's happening type thing.
I like it. All right, let's talk Roman. Roman Reigns is winning this match. We made a case for the other guys. Yada, yada, yada. We got here 10 minutes in. Where do you see Roman Reigns coming out of this? Unannounced, that he's not going to the Elimination Chamber. Last year, he wasn't announced for the Elimination Chamber. He ended up working it. Is his next match WrestleMania?
I think he does the Chamber.
Okay. They say, "Oh, he ain't going," but there's plenty of times where they said that and he's gone.
I think he does. I mean, they're saying he's not announced, but you can't believe everything you see on the internet.
Of
Now,
course.
he may not be at the show. Who knows?
Yeah,
His next match may be WrestleMania, but man, it's gonna be interesting with this Rock and Cody stuff, man.
very
It
interesting.
it's plays such a dynamic just because Rock and Roman. I think most of us want to see it because it's huge. The box office match.
Yes.
It's the biggest match since Rock and Cena.
Absolutely.
But the difference is there's a dynamic with the Cody situation. When The Rock came back to face Cena, the first match wasn't for a title, which it didn't need to be, and they should have never did the rematch in the first place. But the first match wasn't for a title, so and there was no aspect of somebody else's story, getting messed up within it. Cody Rhodes has come back, and literally the last 2 years they've been telling him, having this story of him trying to do the one thing his dad couldn't do. So in my mind, like, don't tell the story if you're not going to have the right finish. They've been building it up properly, and I don't think Cody losing the last 2 years was a bad decision, obviously, because he's still over more than ever. So I think people still want to see it happen, but if you don't do it at this WrestleMania, you're really stretching it out further than it probably needs to be, and you're really dragging on the fans, to kind of still hope that they'll care enough, to by the time, if it's at SummerSlam or next year at WrestleMania, that the fans will still want to see Cody be the guy. You're really edging it on, man. So it's like, I think the right main event should be Roman and Cody, and they should do Rock and Roman at the Elimination Chamber. Even though the Elimination Chamber isn't WrestleMania and Rock and Roman is a WrestleMania match, it's gonna have WrestleMania feels, man. It's in a stadium. It's in Australia. With you know how those international crowds can be. They're very fun. They're very electric. They don't get big shows like that. So I don't think it'll hurt anything to have fans wake up at 5 a.m. to watch the damn show if it's gonna be Rock and Roman. I mean, it's one show. So I think that's what the route they should do. Some people are saying a triple threat, but in my mind, when Roman loses that belt, he has to get pinned to beat. Like, he has to lose to take the pin, and for him to give somebody else that nod. You know what I mean? Like, if he lost and The Rock took the pinfall, you could make the argument that Roman could go back after Cody because he never got pinned. But I don't know, man. I feel like when he loses the title, he has to be the one to get pinned, especially after the run that we haven't seen a run like this since Hogan. So it's like, you have to be the one to like, imagine if, Hogan and Warrior at WrestleMania and they added a third person, and say like it was Andre, and Andre got pinned by Warrior. You know what I mean? Like,
They ain't the same.
it made it bigger because Hulk Hogan barely had lost then, so he got pinned by the Ultimate Warrior, and the Warrior had took the title from him. You know what I mean? So it's like, that meant everything. So I think it's the same factor, man. You have to have Roman Reigns put over Cody or whoever it's gonna be.
I know. I get it. 100%. But WrestleMania season is usually a predictable WrestleMania season, and we don't have that right now. And that's, kudos to the WWE.
Yeah, with the whole Seth Rollins thing too, the injury that he has, so it's a lot of things up in the air. I just think if the plan is for Roman to drop the title at WrestleMania, I think he has to work the chamber. Just kind of, I think it makes the most sense.
Beef up that resume leading into WrestleMania. Now, it is tough. Now, can I give you a WrestleMania 10 scenario? We got 2 nights of WrestleMania. You can have WrestleMania 10, Rock, Roman, Cody, whoever. You know what I mean? And then the winners face the winners, or Cody face the winner. Night 2. I don't love it. It's not a perfect science.
No,
but
I feel like if Rock and Roman, that's a night 2 main event, man. Like that's these are the things you got to think about. Though. Like, this scenario, like it's a night 2 main event, and you don't want to have Roman main event both tonight. You got to that's why they have 2 nights now, because Roman's going to main event night 2. Somebody else got a main event too. So night 1 should go to CM Punk and Seth Rollins. That's the real main event for night 1.
If he's healthy, I 100% agree.
So I just, man, it's a strong factor within these stories. That's one thing that has made the Roman Reigns run, to me, great. Is because there have been some unpredictability. It was like, what direction do you go in? Like, they've made some ballsy, decisions within the story aspect. I mean, if anybody else had been the champion, if this had been Cena, if it had been Austin, Rock, if it had been Punk or anybody, Daniel Bryan, like, they would have lost to Drew McIntyre Clash at the Castle. They would have lost to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like, those guys would have lost. You know what I mean? To give those guys those moments. But
Sami Zayn Elimination Chamber, high profile matches.
Roman is a different type of champion that we haven't seen in so long, maybe even ever. Like, you've never seen a champion like this guy who has really played the heel role, where it's like in his world the bad guys always succeed. Like, usually in the world that we live in, the bad guys always lose, but
Mhm.
Roman Reigns is the bad guy that always succeeds.
I'm nervous for him to lose. The moment's so goddamn big. It's going to be hard to live up to the hype of,
Bro, it's the biggest moment since Undertaker. It's gonna be it's the biggest moment since Taker lost the streak, man. Like, who would ever? I mean, obviously, you know that nobody can be champion forever, but nobody thought Taker would lose at WrestleMania. Like, it's
especially the
WrestleMania
Brock. You
Takers.
figured he'd be
Like,
an up and coming guy.
yeah.
So
And then when he lost, you were kind of like, I don't know, man. You had that weird feeling. You either liked
it
it, you
was
didn't like it. It's one of the. That's how the Roman situation is. It's like the streak. Like, it's one of the two. You either hated it or you liked it. It's gonna be the same way with Roman during this run. You either really like it at this stage or you just don't. And when he loses, you're either really gonna be happy that he's finally lost, or you're still gonna feel like he had more to offer. It's a double-edged sword.
just like when Taker lost. It was out of nowhere. Perhaps we get an RKO out of nowhere, and we're all shocked again because
Yeah, I don't.
that'd be something. That our problems are solved for WrestleMania. But
Yeah, cause
I don't think it should happen. I don't think it should happen. Now, one last scenario let me throw at you and see if you kind of feel the vibe, because right now WrestleMania, it's cloudy and I'm not sure what I prefer either. Rock, Cena, Roman, but an elimination triple threat. So you have to justify the wins. You want Cody Rhodes to really get put over? He pins The Rock, then he pins Roman.
ooh, it's not a bad option for Cody. Obviously,
Not a
because
bad option for Cody.
it gets him more over. I don't know, man.
It's got to be 101 on the marquee. I get that. I'm just, it's hard, man. They got them. I don't want to say they got themselves in a corner. They got
What if they
themselves
did?
in a good corner.
What if you did? Hypothetically, what if you did Cody and Roman at the Chamber, right? And then you have Cody beat Roman at the Chamber, which would be shocking because at this stage, I don't think
Mhm.
anybody believes Roman's going to lose unless it's at WrestleMania, right? And they have these international shows, and if Cody beats Roman at the Chamber, number one, it'll be unexpected and shocking, and I think it gives the marquee for WWE when they go to these international shows. Anything could happen. So it's like, there are people who are saying that, oh man, I don't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch the show, but then you miss that. WWE's telling you, hey man, you might not want to miss these shows because anything could happen. But then you have Cody beat Roman, right? He finishes the story. That's the whole purpose of Cody, being the champion, right? He finishes the story. Then you could do Rock and Roman at WrestleMania without a championship, because there are people who believe, number one, that is a WrestleMania only match, and number two, that match doesn't need a title. Well, now Roman doesn't have the championship, and you still get that match at WrestleMania. And then you could have Cody walk into WrestleMania, and he could face Randy Orton for the championship, which that would add an aspect of a story that makes sense, because Randy was Cody's mentor one time in Legacy. So that adds up and goes in together as well. So now you get Cody versus Randy for the championship at WrestleMania, and you still get Rock and Roman with no title, and it happens at WrestleMania.
Honestly, if that was a decent plan, should have had Cody and Roman at Rumble.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean, you could
you
have did it.
should have done that. But I get it. We're kind of, we feel that. All right. So after talking it out, we feel that Rock Roman is the best match and Cody Orton's the best match. It's just that WWE title and the history is in the way, and the history is the most important thing out of the there. So it's
the story aspect for
yeah.
Cody about finishing the story. You still get Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. Orton and Cody makes sense too because they have history there. So it all adds in, and people I think want to see that too. So it all adds in with the aspects. It's a big cluster mess right now. I
don't think it's a cluster mess. I think it's a good cluster mess. It's a good cluster mess.
Decision you have to make, and it has to be the right one at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
That's the risk of the championship run that Roman has been on too. Like, it has to be the right decision. Like, it would have been so much easier if we had Rock and Roman last year at WrestleMania, and then we have Cody versus Roman for the first time this year at WrestleMania. Because last year at WrestleMania, I think there were still a lot of people that want to see Roman win. You know what I mean? Which is part of the reasons why I think he still won, and there was still a lot of story to tell. Like, there were people who were saying that, they could have had Roman lose and you still could have told the same story, and that's just completely wrong, because the entire story of Roman being the tribal chief is him being the champion. Like, that's the whole concept. Like, they have said on multiple occasions, when Roman loses, there is no Roman Reigns. So once he loses, he might be done for real. We don't know yet. So, like, once he lets, it's been said in promos. Go look it up. Paul Heyman had said it, like, without the title, there is no Roman Reigns. So that's basically saying once Roman loses, he may be gone. What left is there for him to do? You know what I'm saying? At this stage, he's done. He's reached the highest of peaks. He's reached the highest of highs that people could only dream of. You know what I mean? So it's like,
for years and years and years.
what more could he possibly accomplish and do? So once he loses, it might be done. So that's why the title is attached to him, because the championship has been elevated up to relevancy, to heights that people haven't been able to bring it to. So I think once he loses, hypothetically, he might be done. We don't know yet. Only time will tell. You know, I'm not a fortune teller, so you just gotta wait and see. But I just feel like Rock and Roman would have been bigger last year in Hollywood WrestleMania. It still would have been fun to see. People would have loved to see it, and then you could have had Cody and Roman for the first time this year, and that would have had a lot of hype to it. Like, oh, we're finally getting. You know, I just think it would have been a lot better that way.
But hey, I think Cody feels like a much bigger star now, going through all the adversity, on the chase, and I don't know. I just, the yearning for him overall feels more of a yearning than it did last year. So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
He's won me over. I'm Team Cody now. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing that reign continue. I am a man of history. The No So is a network full of old nostalgic history. So that's kind of to my core, and I know that history adds up. And I'm Team Big Dog all day here. But as we get out of here, and speaking of history, I've really enjoyed your recent WrestleMania breakdowns of what you've been doing here. You're doing a unique twist of kind of reviewing all the past WrestleManias and reaction videos. I'm pretty sure everyone knows how you are, Malik. So I'm sure they're not going to be hard to find you. But how can they find you out there on the streets?
Narcolepsy Boy 94 on all social media platforms: Twitter, YouTube, IG, and TikTok is where I got the main following for the people out there who are in the wrestling community who might know me from. But I post a lot. I'm posting a lot more on YouTube. I'm trying to grow on there, and IG as well. So make sure you guys go check me out over there if you guys enjoy wrestling content.
Now, how deep are you going to go back with these WrestleMania reaction videos? Yeah, let the cat out of the bag.
I'm just looking at the comments, man. I'm just doing day by day, man. So whatever one piques my interest, I guess.
Hey, man, we can hear you here on the No So. Here we are counting down all 402 WrestleMania videos, 5 a day, all the way up leading to WrestleMania 400 to 1. So we got our hands full with that, but Justin and I are plowing through that in short form. 45-second reviews of WrestleMania matches.
Just the matches?
Just the matches. We're doing them in short form. We're about in the low 200s right now, low 300s right now. So we have about 80 WrestleMania reviews out there from 45 seconds to a minute on all across the platforms here on the No So. So check those out if you haven't seen them.
What's the greatest WrestleMania match of all time?
Come on, man. We can't let the cat out of the bag. I'll tell you when we get off the air.
Okay.
The WrestleMania 13, Bret Hart versus Austin.
That's yours?
I believe that's going to be our one. But hey, our top 5, it's two of us, me and Justin. So it's like we got to agree on it. But I think that might be perhaps the one we agree on. What's yours?
Bret and Austin is a good one. That's in my top 5. But mine is Shawn Michaels Undertaker WrestleMania 25.
Top 3 right there for sure.
That would be mine. Bret and Austin is a really good one, especially with the double turn and everything. That's a really really good one. I would have it in my top 5. I don't know about my top 3. I still think there were other ones I would put over that, but that's not a bad one to it's not a bad one to say, honestly. I mean, that's a phenomenal match
for sure. So yeah, maybe we'll get your input on that down the line. But Malik, it's been awesome. We'll catch you on the next one, buddy.
Thank you.